And we're just going to settle into the body, taking a deep breath in. We're going to bring ourselves right to center and just correct up our cylindrical silver light tunnel or silver light protective layer where we expand the crystal star at the third eye. Inhale, exhale, and allow it to move down to the core of the earth. And at this position, we're going to spin the star. Inhaling, exhaling, allowing the movement of pale silver light to come up from the earth core through your hara line and just recirculate through your light, through your body. And next inhale, exhale, we're going to take that star up to about 12 inches beneath the feet. Inhale, exhale. Allow the base of your disc to open, the base of the shield opening, just creating that firm protective base layer of the shield. We're then going to inhale, exhale, take the star up through the top, 36 inches above the head, open the disc, opening up the apex of the shield, and then we're just going to interlock top to bottom. And run the light through your light body, just allowing all of that pale silver light just to absorb into your structure. Inhaling, exhaling. And here, what we want to do is work with the breath and just become very conscious of any pain that's highlighting through the physical form. And any area of tightness or tension, we're going to just start bringing light from your sphere through the area of tension. So, particularly through the heart, we've got some coming up over the backs of the shoulders, back of the throat, front of the throat. And we want to just kind of really allow that to drive the light through the channels that are holding tightness and compaction, and working with the breath just to recenter the awareness. and coming up over the third eye. Just clearing through any layers of abandonment that are just kind of circulating, any layers of rejection. And the stresses around not being heard, locked into the areas of blockages that are kind of perpetuating a restriction to the expression. Always returning back to the breath when it becomes really tight in order to kind of move the light through you and to regain awareness in the moment of the feeling and of yourself to kind of create a level of demeshment of identity with the blockage. And we then begin to place that in front of you as we get that level of demeshment. If that is a real word, demeshment, I don't know. So as we project the aspect out in front of us, we've then got auroric light patterning circulating down and connecting into the expression in rich magenta, rich greens, and emerald tones, just fluctuating through the expression. And as we connect into the heart, it's almost as if I'm looking at this a tree made of ash, which I feel like we need to just kind of do a bit of work on first because this tree that's made of ash is looking quite well damaged. And as we look through the heart of the structure, what's then presenting to me is an extension to the God world. So this is kind of interfacing through the tree. The light of the emerald is connecting into the tree and beginning to rebuild the compositions, the molecular compositions, the geometric compositions into form through the tree structure. And I actually think this is um, a metaphor for the artificial tree of life, the artificial timeline structure, the base 10 genetics. and the base 10 universe, the phantom universe, which is then overlaid or connected through the heart of the organic to the the God worlds and the source field. So it's kind of like latching onto the lower levels and it's giving a kind of illusionary state, but at the same time, it's also breaking down. So what we want to do is go in with this emerald ray. And what I'm immediately seeing is a reformatting, a transfiguration of the structure, or transmutation of the structure, which as the parts that are dying and breaking off, they begin to reformat into the organic structure. So it's like it's kind of delineating the artificial nature to turn it back to an organic stronghold. We bring in the light of God to reclaim the territories in which this system had held itself over, reformatting the spheres and the base 10 architecture, the coding, the inorganic matter dissolving, overriding with the organic system as God would have it be. And just starting to shed out the anxiety, shed out trepidation, fear, interfacing peace and just running the opalescent light through the system. And I was just kind of taken there into as a metaphor, the fashion industry and how greed overrides the ability to see the welfare of others. I guess within any kind of working environment, really, they want you to kind of like churn out work as much as you can, and pay you peanuts for it. And this was just kind of coming up whilst observing the um, the structural breakdown because the belief systems of the enslavement system are fundamentally being broken down. And we're given the choice to change the thinking and to think ourselves a new um, system in which the health and wellness of the worker is the priority. So the pyramid becomes inverted. It runs the lowest level becomes the most important at the top, and the welfare and the happiness is the key. Na yokirana yokoriyana okura shinak yokorajal. So as we go in and watch the system transform, thick black tar landscapes with red fractured light that's enmeshed through the imagery begins to break down and update with fresh plant life growing through it. The amethyst sun presents through central point. Holy Father, interfacing within the updated architecture and updating the horizontal grid marker points or the grid nodal points to extend through the landscape of the manifestation. This is then being pulled down to the physical level, creating a prismatic geometric structure anchoring in through seeding to bridge the manifestation of sovereignty, of liberation, of for the people, not the controller structures aligning into physical form in the pre-matter to matter manifestation templates. And just light washing with amethyst crystal light and ruby crystal light, reclaiming the territories and reclaiming one's life, I suppose. And just feel all of that start to unlock through the solar plexus, sacral, and root on the back side of the back of the body. Anxiety and stress unloops. Neptune in Aries, I believe, as the opportunity to bring in the solution and manifest the potentials. Okay, so as we've got that kind of anchored down, the next thing I'm seeing is the Roisha pillar connecting in through vertically um, as Amareya sound tones, actually, interfacing with the base anchor point that connects into the physical realm. Sound and light re-emerge. The blue, pale gold, magenta flame as one flame restores through the sequence, which then extends up into the Ikasha, to open the pathway and open the channel to receive the pure potential life force, to nourish the manifestation, sending out signal codes through the group field and through the collective field for those who wish to seek it. The choice is theirs to take, consciously or unconsciously. The soul will drive the vehicle. Pulsations of the heart. Mother Dragon Eru interfacing and aligning with the Roisha, expanding a vertical grid network that interfaces across the landscape, connecting into the higher fields and running into the anchor points of the nodes. Masculine, feminine frequency combined begins to unlock the nodal points within the grid of the pre-matter manifestation, allowing phase shift to release or move the matter into the matter manifestation template. Okay, just sit with that for a moment because I'm just feeling all of this heat moving through the body and softness. It's just unlocking and moving everything. And allowing this to wash through that black-red landscape. Which then clears the field. Okay. Opalescent pink radial light presents through central point of the field, balanced symmetry of seraphim, cherubim, oraphim, angelic presences as the chariot for the opal mother frequency, setting in as the nourishment to fulfill the light expansion into manifestation, clicking into place and encrypting the gate system Mayokuriana of Kyakuruchana Yokura, allowing light matter to move. Now, it's interesting because I'm still picking up on quite a thick layer of haziness. It's becoming more and more apparent what's going on here, which is to bridge um, the sovereignty, the liberty templates into the manifest form, which runs across the board, that has to be supported by the Holy Father. Now to have the Holy Mother coming in, which bridges the nourishment to fulfill the prophecy and to fulfill the movement. This is allowing the clearing to take place within the field to actually realign the higher timelines on a collective level. And we just allow the mother presence just to settle in and expand through the tight emotion, the tight information that is quite uncomfortable, to say the least. But it's a case of polarity integration. It's a case of having the higher polarity moving in to reformat the lower structure and allowing the emotional transits to move through the body, to move through the chakra system in order to kind of regain um, to regain the I don't want to say control, but it's more like the regain the sovereignty of the timeline that was taken by the artificial overlays that were kind of controlling the mind and creating a fractured third dimensional reality or a physical reality in which um, we had to live within a certain parameter rather than allowing the expansive ability to co-create a life filled with abundance and riches in all forms, not just monetary, but spiritual, mental, emotional. for the highest good of all. This now feels like it's able to kind of move in. And through the processing of that, I actually feel all of that weight unlock and release now. Flashes of golden architecture interconnect with the base of the field and then run through vertically, now overlaying the Akasha connected in to the matter manifestation template. It's like the bringing the Akasha to the matter fields, so the God worlds to the physical. And I think this is like the streams of light that are kind of interconnecting. So what we want to do here is just allow the light to realign 360 degrees around you. Allow the interconnection of the Akasha R to the base of the 12 tree grid. Clicking with encryption, or flashing with encryption, rather. And then this resets the geometric structure of all levels of light within matter. The hexagonal honeycomb grid moving in various degrees of light, spinning and resetting, and the flow of source consciousness re-emerges into the matter. Full body expansion. Allow yourself to just be in that space of the source field fluctuating through, and the unified field of one fluctuating through into the 12 tree grid at the lowest level. And we're going to take this around you 360 degrees, update through the staff and the rod, the black hole, white hole, vortices at the intersection of the architecture, allowing that to wash through your own personal channels. Updating the geometric infrastructure from black into kaleidoscopic, omnipotent sound and light, which has then just gone extremely holographic, like my whole space around me has just turned into geometry, which is interfacing with divine light code, light equation, and the light of the Holy Spirit, breathing back into the structures, into the geometry, into the praying hands, into the heart of one, into the omni-luminous, multiversal worlds of Christic races, Christic beings, Christic love light intelligence. Allow yourself to feel, reset, and refocus with the breath as we move through the transit of the highest love. And unification with Source and the consciousness families, the Christic consciousness families. Returning to the emerald Templar clock face. Running through the organic timelines, bridging back into physical form. We're going to update through all fields there. We're going to update through all localized grids. Move to seal. Inhale, exhale, recode, release. And sailing through the eternal breath of the Unisi, Unisi source oneness of Omni-Love. Thank you, everybody. That was lovely to share that with you today.